Before we talk about Spurs, before the tactics, the form, the league positions, today marks the anniversary of the Munich Air Disaster. A moment that didn't just change this club, it defined it. We lost players, coaches, and families, but they have never truly been gone. They live on in our hearts and in our memories. There's lots to talk about. The United way, the United DNA. The people we lost are that DNA. And every generation that's ever played since has carried that into the theatre of dreams. We don't just play for silverware at Manchester United. We fight every game for what they never got the chance to achieve. We are United, and they are gone, but they are never forgotten. So let's take a second to remember them. Roger Byrne, Eddie Coleman, Mark Jones, David Pegg, Jeff Bent, Liam Whelan, and of course, Duncan Edwards. Our hearts go out to their families, their friends, but more importantly, they will forever be in the hearts of Manchester United fans. And we're live, guys. I wanted to start that with a quick segment just to remember those that have fallen in the Munich Air Disaster today. 4 minutes past 3. The service was streamed live on many a platform today. If you got a chance to watch it, great. But this show, I think this show really is going to embody the spirit of the Busby Babes, embody the spirit of everyone that lived through the Munich disaster and what they expect of Manchester United. So without further delay, we will get on to today's preview for the Spurs match. And as you can see from the thumbnail, the almighty words, it's only Spurs, lads, spoken by Sir Alex Ferguson. But of course, who was in that room with him when he said those words? Michael Carrick. Okay, so we know what atmosphere is going to be like at Old Trafford tomorrow. If you're going to the game tomorrow, please go there. Photos of the reefs, get it all out. Show what love Manchester United brings to football. And if you haven't, make sure you find it on social media. Like it, share it, and let everyone know themselves. But we will always carry the lost ones in our club. So tonight we're going to start with a preview of the Tottenham game. First off, Danny, welcome. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're keeping it nice and clean for me tonight. We're also going to have a little bit of talk about what we can expect going forward. The ups and downs of this Tottenham side that I really see us in this Tottenham side from last season. I'll go through a bit of their stats and why this is such an important game. Evening, Trevor. I'm looking for more questions and answers near the end of the show as we're going through. We'll have our hot takes on the starting and lineups. I've made a few changes to the United one where I'm expecting to see. Got it spot on last week, so let's see if Carrick does what I expect this week. So without further ado, I will jump on and bring up the Tottenham starting lineup, which is this one here. So let's just get rid of that. So as you can see, let me just make that bigger. I think they're going to play more of a 3-4-1-2. You can call it a 3-4-3 if you want. Depends what kind of footballer you are. But obviously, they're depleted. So I don't know, those who know, Polina played at the back for him last week. Nothing's changed defensively for them. They're still missing Van der Ven. So I'm expecting him in. Romero is probably their only real starting player at the back. They push Gallagher a little bit wide, wider than I would expect to see him. So Undogi, Basuma and Gallagher really are all holding midfield players. So he's making the best of a bad situation. The one thing Gallagher will give you is legs. He can run all day. That's what you get when you've played under the mighty Simeone. For me, absolute twat of a player. Let's call him what he is. But as a manager, absolute disciplinarian. He is literally the Argentinian Roy Keane. Says what he sees and takes no crap from his players or the media. So I have a lot of respect for Simeone since he's stopped playing. But anyone who plays underneath him, if you look at Gallagher, if you look at Kieran Trippier when he came back to the Premier League, different kind of player. So I think Gallagher, will be very hard to handle tomorrow and be pretty much all over the shot. Gray on the wing, hit and miss. I think if we smash into him once or twice, depending who starts on the left wing to go up against him, that might help. Shaw might put him into the crowd. That's always going to help. Basuma, he's had a bad season. Let's be honest, he has had a bad season. Being hit or miss, whether he starts or not. He's had a lot of off-the-field issues. It's funny enough, same off-field issues that got him his move away from Brighton at a cheaper price. So it's obviously continuing in the bright lights of London. So that is that. What's Trevor saying here? Romero is causing havoc at the club with his comments recently. Hopefully it affects his game against us. Yeah, absolutely. Evening, Bilal. Evening. Romero is he's their version of Martinez, isn't he? But a little even more hot-headed. I think if you can wind him up, he's a red card waiting to happen. He's a guaranteed yellow card pretty much every other game. Defensively, it's about how we attack them, and I'll cover that off. And then they've got, obviously, Simmons in the sort of 10 role. Now, last week, in the second half, you could see he was playing that 10 role more himself. And Mwari went up front with him. So Solanke and I can never say it. Mawani. We call him Mawani. It was more of a, I'll jump, you run, vice versa, flick-ons. It was old school front two kind of play. If you've seen me enough, the kind of play I actually like and still think will work well in the Premier League. We're probably quite lucky that Man City don't do it with Haaland, because I think that's where Haaland would thrive. And I can see it coming back next year, 2 strikers for most clubs. But all in all, we don't know what we're going to get with Spurs. Now, the main problem with Spurs is that, like I say, that they remind me of us from last season. So their league record this season in the Premier League, it's sort of, I think, if I get this right, it's one way or the other. I think it's 7 wins, 8 draws, 9 losses. So literally 1 in 3 they win. Scored 35, conceded 33. So don't score many, but hard to score against. 7 clean sheets out of those 24 games. But attacking wise, they're 8th in the league. Defensively, 10th in the league. So quite solid. But those stats are definitely skewed at the moment because obviously how many players they've got out injured. I would say they've probably got 70% of their starting 11 out. If you think Maddison's not there, Van der Ven's not there, who else would we be starting? Richarlison. Pardon me. Kudus. There's a few others. I'm trying to think of the right back who normally plays. Can't think, Portuguese, isn't he? But yeah, there's a few out. But funny enough, in the Champions League, they've scored 17 and conceded only 7. Now, the reason I bring their Champions League stats up, because I feel like at the moment under Carrick, we're playing like a Champions League side. It's a bit all-out attack. When we get the ball, we go for the throat, which leaves you open to counter, which obviously is a Thomas Frank specialty. Let me know in the chat what you think, but I'm pretty sure if we were to say what's Frank's way of playing, you'd say solid, good build-up play, but if there's an opportunity, it's all-out attack and he goes for it with power and pace. Tottenham are lacking a bit of that power and pace at the moment, and that might be our only saving grace. But I'm not overly confident, believe it or not, about this game. So I see Tottenham just because of I say it all the time, don't I? Week in, week out, I talk about mentality. Look at the results against Tottenham last season, and in my head as a player, I'm going, they beat us in the final. We own them. We owe them one hell of a beating, to quote a famous manager. And they're coming to Old Trafford, and we need to destroy them. They've taken that record, never winning at Old Trafford, and they made us look stupid. That's my team talk. It's probably quite a simple one to fire them up, as well as saying it's only Spurs. It seemed to work back in the day. But yes, this lineup, I think it's pretty much how they will come at us. I don't know if anyone else thinks anything like is a danger man. Chat, let me know, or jump in the comments afterwards if you think I've gone over anyone. I know Solanke's obviously been given the one of the goals against Man City, which in my eyes it's a foul. He's kicked through the guy's shin, but if he's got the ball, he's got the ball. But from what I see in refereeing these days, it should have been a foul. But, so he scrapped one and he got another one with, I can give him another 100 crosses and he don't score that scorpion kick again, does he? So we all know that's true. That's the Tottenham team. Moving on to, let's be honest, what we're all here for, the United starting 11. I have changed it ever so slightly this week. And which is quite funny because I'm the one saying I don't normally change a starting 11. Obviously, Lemon stays in goal. Or everyone says, why do we play without a goalkeeper? We know he's never changing. So, yeah. Right. Before we go into this, obviously, if you're new here, guys, hit the subscribe. Just literally gone past 100 subscribers. So, now I'm pushing for the 150. I'm not aiming for the stars. I'll take it slowly. 150. So hit the likes, hit the subscribes. Once you've hit that subscribe, join the community page and you'll see all the posts, anything that I put up there, live shows coming up as and when. I like to do mine more spare at the moment when I've got more information. So do that. Obviously, top left, when I enlarge myself, there'll be the TikTok code. Come over, follow my stuff on TikTok. All appreciated, and it's all free. So, what have you got to lose? But yes, let's get into this United team. Anyone spot who I've changed in the United team? And I think this was what I saw from the stands on Sunday when I was up there. I thought Cunha was, I'm going to be honest, I thought Cunha was terrible. Absolutely great on the ball, but it's what he done off or didn't do off the ball that really left us open and left us a bit with nowhere to go. Very one-sided, made Ahmad have to run his arse off in the first half, and I thought he was actually not even going to make it through the first half. But I noticed in the second half when Mbeumo went over to the left, he hugged the touchline, and so did Ahmad, made the pitch a lot bigger. We all know Old Trafford's one of the biggest pitches out there. And I just thought it gave us that little bit better wing play. Obviously, then that puts Sesko up front. Some of you might say, well, just swap Mbeumo and Sesko. Put Mbeumo on the left and put, Mbeumo and Cunha. You could put Cunha up front. You could. He's playing well enough to hold down his spot. But I don't think he offers us as much as a central striker. Mbeumo's more used to playing as a central striker or a winger. And Sesko is more of a playing off a striker, so again, through the middle. Whereas, for me, Cunha needs to play in the Bruno role. That's where we get the best out of him. So when we were playing him in the dual 10s, it was perfect because we had what players going outside wide. We can't really be expecting Luke Shaw to be bombing on, making those overlaps. Same with Diego Dalot. If you notice, they weren't doing that. They didn't really go past constantly all game. It was only if we built the play up from the halfway line. So they only have to do half the pitch running. But otherwise, I think everything stays the same. Again, 3 wins on the bounce. Why should we change it? If anyone can give me a good reason why we should change it, I'm definitely open to it. But before we go any further, we should have a look to see what is in the chat. We got Romaro wants a move. I bet he's going against the board. Probably, but I think he's just an outspoken player in the Tottenham team. He always has been. And yeah, Trevor, that's exactly what I was saying. Gallagher adds that bit more bite, bit more discipline, hard work, which really Thomas Frank will want, but Tottenham have been missing. But yeah, Madison's not there, as he said, the darts. Yeah, it's amazing how he'll be fit, funny enough, after all the darts tournaments, like the major darts tournaments has finished. He should be back. Great timing on his behalf. Why is Gallagher on the wing? I don't know, but he was playing slightly out to the side. You think if you've got Basuma, which is holding, it's all about how he sets up. He might play as a 3-1, 3-1, 2 and play with no width. So the wider midfield players go wide on the attack, but they stay narrow to push us wide. But yeah, Gallagher for me is a holding midfielder. Ndoi is a holding midfielder, and so is Basuma. So I think he's making the best of what they've got. He's a wingman. Yeah, I know I said about the final, but it's true. Do you not think that even if we did beat ourselves, when the next time we face them, we've got to go out there and we've got to tear them apart, right? And that's all I'll be putting. Look, this is how you played against them last time. It's not right. And the point I'm going to make all the way through this, what is this weekend, guys? What is today and next weekend? What is today and tomorrow? Today might be the day we remember, but that's the next game. That's where we lay the wreath in the middle of the game. That's you telling me the team talk isn't basically going to be out there. You go out there, you show these fans that you would die for this club like those players did. It's the easiest team talk for a manager to give. It really is. It's just an emotional, and you play on those emotions. Hey, I do change my underpants. What I do, front, back, inside out, front, back. And then what do I do for the 5th day? Oh, I just don't wear them. So it's fine. And then day 6, Saturday, wash them quickly, stand around naked, and then put them all back on for, you only need 1 pair. It's great. Funny enough, it's not a family channel because I do put my content is not suitable for children. Because I can't stop putting my foot in my mouth. So, yeah, Trevor, I went for Sesko in. I don't think he gave Mazraoui. So I was waiting. That's what I was really looking for. So, Bilal, I don't think he gave Mazraoui the minutes to generate Mazraoui onto the pitch. So, and dare I say it, what has Dalot actually done wrong in the 3 games we've won? Like, apart from Kung Fu kicking Doku, and probably should have got a red card there, or at least 3 yellows, one for the kick, one for kicking the ball away, and then one for having a go at the ref. Then the next 2 games, the Arsenal game didn't really do anything wrong, and the last game, nothing there again, was there? Okay, we scraped through, but he'd done his job defensively at the back post, and that's all really he's been asked to do. But they're not targeting him. That's where we've been lucky that Dalot's not been targeted. They keep coming at Shaw as if Shaw's the old man, and you think you can outrun him, but Shaw's holding steady, whereas Dalot is just holding that place down. So yeah, I do understand it. I was tempted to put Mazraoui in because in my heart of hearts, I think that's a better back four. But I just think Carrick will change as fewer people as possible. But you say you keep the same, that means Sesko wouldn't be playing. For those who say that, Sesko would be dropped and Cunha would be in. And Cunha, seriously. So I was in S22, if you know the ground, but basically it's, I'm going to get shit here. I was in the family and friends section. Okay, so the row in front of me was everyone's favourite brother at the moment, Free Kobe. It was Kobe Mainoo's brother. And then wanders in on 60 minutes was either Lenny Yoro's brother, because he's a spitting image of him, or his best mate. But literally, we're watching him in front of us, and he's like zooming in on photos. Yeah, that's my bro, blah, 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 and sending it directly to Lenny Yoro. So, yeah, I was in that section. A certain other streamer would normally have been in that section, but he was actually in a box on that day. But I was there with my brother and my two nephews, and yeah, we were lucky. We had great tickets. But what I saw from that position was only 30 rows back. Was that Cunha kept coming all the way across the pitch to get on the ball. He went looking for the ball. And anyone who's ever played football knows you can't have your wide players coming in looking for the ball, because when you try to rotate, he can't move faster than the ball can, so he's not going to get back out wide, and it was a real problem for us. And that's why people were saying Shaw was offering so much out on the left, but there was no two players out on the left. So when they broke, you would have noticed that Cunha was never back between Shaw and Martinez like Ahmad was between Dalot and Maguire. So it's just something I picked up on. And that's why I feel Mbeumo will offer us more discipline-wise and work ethic-wise in that wide player working the lines with Shaw. Obviously, he's left-footed as well, so it's not like it's chucking a right footer out there and it's going to be in swinging crosses, and he's never played out wide on the left. Well, he hasn't, but it's the same thing. If you can play on the right, you can play on the left. Normally, you just say the hardest part is just taking the ball on the other foot. Yes, he was. That's where I first recognised him. It was then my Ethan, my nephew, who pointed out that he went, "No, that's Mainoo's brother," and then I clocked it. Obviously, he wasn't wearing the t-shirt. If he was wearing the t-shirt, I would have got it straight away. But he had his nice Balenciaga jacket on instead. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not going to read that out fully. People can read it if they want to. That, Trevor, is. I see where you're coming from. Let's just say that when I've seen the guy up close and how he was walking around with a small entourage, and how Kobe has been walking around on the pitch, I don't mind Kobe's new sort of aggression, sort of persona, like I'm going to fucking show you. That's the way I see Kobe at the moment. I don't see him as a show off. I just think he's got a lot of confidence, and maybe Carrick's given him that because he knows him, and he knows what a midfielder needs to be showing. But obviously, the player of the last match, I didn't do a breakdown of the last match. I probably should chuck in a few bits because I was there. It was a 16-hour round trip for me, all the way from the south coast up to Manchester and back in one day. Off 5:30 start, 11:15 got home, and one hell of a long day at work the next day. But what I did see is, Jesus Christ, Casemiro was just making us tick. All the little things you don't see when you watch it on TV, like directing the play. And he is directing the play. Him and Kobe Mainoo have got a real good working, pointing at each other and like the hands up, like, yeah, I've got him, and things like that. Let's get this off screen. I think we all know what I've done with the starting 11 now. Let's get that gone. Yeah, so there was a lot of, no, stay, I'll go, and that's all you ever want to see from your midfielders dictating the play. So it was really good. But I got to be honest, it's the best I've ever seen Fernandes play. And enough of you have watched me that you probably think I hate Bruno Fernandes, but I don't. I think he's a world-class player, but he frustrates the hell out of me because he's so ill-disciplined. I need a drink. Oh, that's better. Just to fill you all in, you all see me probably rubbing my arm constantly. I've actually got a severe strain in my arm that's pressing on a nerve. So you will probably see me holding my arm. It's not like nerves or anything like that for some reason. It just absolutely kills. And I can't really take the painkillers because they just make me want to fall asleep and be sick. So, right, what's this from Trevor? While Kobe is being lauded at the moment, he was lucky he wasn't hauled off against City. Then against Arsenal was average, and against Fulham a little bit better. I definitely hate a conspiracy theory. And I think Fernandes has some conspiracy theories that he's all that about his assists. I'll say it. When people go on about, he's created 12 goals this season, but how many balls has he put in the box? He's probably created 12 and put over 100 balls into the box, which, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. That's not world-class kind of figures. But if you notice, no one else is allowed to cross. They give him the ball and he'll throw it in from any angle. So recently, when we've been scoring more goals, those assists are coming from everywhere and anywhere, which is so much better. So no, Trevor, and you're the one trying to tell me to keep it clean. No, I don't know how. I've done it at work. I was lifting something, it slipped out my left hand, all the way went through my right, and just yanked my right arm down. So wasn't pretty, but it's still attached, right? I can still move it. It's just literally through here, and I've lost a bit of my grip strength. Why it heals, and I think that's from the nerve. But anyway, don't want to talk about me and my injuries. Let's talk about United. So who's in agreement with me? Like, chat, you can let me know. Comments come back at me. I'll ask the question afterwards. Sesko and Mbumo, or are we leaving Cunha in? So, that I was pondering it. I was like, the guy scores a last-minute winner at a Stretford end. Probably what every United fan has ever dreamed of doing. You can't drop him. Yeah, it's another one. Evening Bezel. We were just talking about Mazraoui. We want to put him in, but I feel like Carrick hasn't given him enough minutes to bring him in. So I would love to see him start. I just don't think he's going to change that back line because at the end of the day, it's a clean sheet with in the fullback areas. There's been no real mistakes, left or right. So I get everyone saying it. I might just put him in just for the sake of it going forward, and then we'll just see Dalot start every week, and you'll start criticising it. So Trevor, you think Sesko and Mbumo as well? Yeah, and that's it. He should be buzzing. He should absolutely be buzzing because what the manager's going to tell you as a sub, or should be telling you, again, I can't help but see certain aspects of Ferguson's man management in Carrick when he speaks. And I can sort of see Carrick saying, look, when you go on there, all you've got to do is score. If you score when you come on, you've done your job. And the more you do your job, the more I put you on next time. Or more you're going to earn your start. And I'm not going to be able to drop you. Problem is, we've got Mbumo scoring, we've got Cunha scoring, we've got Sesko scoring. If they're not scoring, they're assisting. Fernandes is chucking the assists in. He just needs to start getting some goals now as well. So it is hard. Really, if anything, Ahmad could be dropped and go Mbumo on the right, Cunha on the left, and Sesko up front, and we wouldn't bat an eyelid at it because Ahmad isn't scoring the goals. He's doing the hard work though, so I get that as well. So yes, what are anyone else expecting of the game? Tell me, guys, what you think. I think without Van der Ven at the back and Romero, I think Sesko's the perfect person to get an easy yellow card out of Romero in the first half. Backing into him, long legs, just nicking the ball away, and he'll clash into him, and that's it. I'll come back to that, Trev. I think I'll come back to that in a sec. Let's just finish this off because that's a really good question. But would you drop Ahmad? He hasn't actually done anything wrong. He's just not scored, and that's what I'm saying. Because we, at the moment, out of the front four, I'm predicting, Sesko scored and Bumo's what was it? 2 in 3, 3 in 3. Cunha's 2 in 3. Sesko's obviously got his goal, so it's just going to keep going. And great, the old United teams, we never had 1 or 2 strikers. Every striker was scoring goals, so it didn't matter whoever came on. Even when we were at our worst, our strikers put the ball in. It was always keeping it out at the other end. And we've gone back that way a little bit over time. So, yeah, I don't know. So, obviously, that's what you guys think. Trevor, would Duncan Edwards have gone? How far would he have gone to be world class? Do you know what? It wouldn't be hard back then. That's the problem. I think Duncan Edwards was absolutely superb. There wasn't anything he couldn't do or wouldn't do for the club. So he's the kind of player you would want. The closest I thought we ever got to another Duncan Edwards in his mentality was obviously Keno. But I know different kind of player, but it's the mentality that I always see. And I think there's that mentality that drives you towards being world class. So, yeah, I think Duncan Edwards probably would have been held in much higher esteem. I don't know. Would he have been up there with the Pelés and the Maradonas and people like that? Eusebios? Possibly. He was definitely moving in that right direction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sesko had 3 before Carrick came in and his first 2 matches, he's barely got minutes. Exactly. But that's good, isn't it? So when you do get your minutes, you take your opportunities. And we've been saying that, you said earlier, Trevor, about Kobbie Mainoo, and I didn't think he was amazing against City, and he done his job against Arsenal because I feel he was given a man marking job. He was better against Fulham because Bruno was doing the stupid thing by getting himself man marked by their holding midfielder, Sander Berge. So it gave Mainoo a bit more space to operate. So we saw a better side of him. But when we are against an attacking side, I feel like Carrick likes his midfielders between Bruno in the 10 and Casemiro and Mainoo to do a man marking job because most teams run a 3-man midfield. So I feel like that's what he tries to get them to do. But when they're on the ball, they're to express themselves. And we all know Mainoo is a better 10 than he is 8 or 6. Well, at least in my opinion, he's a better 10. Better on the ball, loves a body feint, But he shows some proper real strength. When he absolutely body checked Iwobi off the ball, and that absolutely shocked me on Sunday. So I was happy with that. So there are other aspects of his game that he's bringing in. Maybe he's never had the chance to really show him. But then again, he sat in the reserves and wasn't playing under Amorim, was he? So, and some say that's on him, some say that's on Amorim. I think it was definitely both ways. So yeah. So yes, I think that sort of sums that bit up. Before we go any further, just for all the new ones who have just joined, if you can smack subscribe, hit a thumbs up. The likes really help me out, guys. And if you've got the hype and you can hype the videos afterwards, even better. I can only do better content the more I grow, the better equipment I can get, things like that, sponsorship, and then I can bring you more and more videos. We've hit the 100. Now we're going for the 150 in subscribers. So hopefully you guys can help take me there. Right, let's see what Trevor's saying. Casemiro is on Absolutely, Trevor. I've been saying, well, you've seen when I've been on Tactical Devils, I keep saying about how important Casemiro has been for us this season. I still see he gets a lot of hate. People still saying he can't run. I saw him in the Arsenal game sprinting from the one box to the other. So, I think that was around the 90th minute. So I think he can run. It's about not running for the whole game. And any central midfielder will tell you that they don't want to be running box to box for the whole game. The average Premier League striker, believe it or not, runs box to box in between, I think it can't be between 4 and 8, but that's definitely the figure I heard. I think it's 4 seconds to the halfway line, but it's about 8 seconds box to box. So what's that? That's about 60 yards. Okay, so that's the average Premier League sprint speed. For those who don't know, we wear stat trackers and that in my under 18s, and we get sent a lot of the pro stats for comparison. And that's what it said. I'm sure it said 4 to 8 seconds for box to box sprints, which seems ridiculous. I can't see anyone getting from 118 box to the other in 4 seconds, because that's not even Van der Ven. Unless it's someone like him who's broken that record, and that's why it's so high. Tanisha, thank you very much for your sub. It's muchly appreciated. I am a fresh face. Trevor will say that's only when I actually have a shave. But I'm trying to represent the good side of Manchester United. I'm not here for clickbait. I'm not here for what the media says. I will give you honest take on it, like you should be having the conversations with your friends that aren't being media driven. There's too much media bias out there, especially when it comes to Man United. So I just try and say it as it is and how I see it, and keep that honesty coming. And I ask for that from you as a viewer, a subscriber, whatever you want to refer to yourself, a fan. Give me your take. I don't want anyone going after any individual players. When we call Dallo out, I call Bruno out. It's because they've had a bad game or they're making mistakes. And there's never anything personal on this channel. It's just what we say as we see, to quote the famous TV personality. The best player I've ever seen on box to box was John Terry. I think John Terry was better at running house to house than he was box to box. Shit, his wife's his home. Better leave the wife. Run back to my own house. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, something like that. I think Ollie's brother is the guy I do work for on a Monday night, and the only other Norwegian I know. No, jokes. There's a few. So yes, any questions from you guys in the chat? I'm happy to take them on now. Trevor, not any of your absolute weird and wonderfuls. You can save them for when there's more than just myself to make it look stupid. But I mean, about the game, is there anything that you feel needs to be addressed in the Tottenham match? Is there anything that you feel you would like to say? Obviously, last week we had the protests. I don't know if anyone in the chat was there at the protests. Obviously, myself and my family were. If you haven't seen, I've put it up on the socials. Just a quick image with the flares, and we started at the Sir Matt Busby end. We weren't at the Hotel Football end, obviously with the convergence, and then obviously straight down the tunnel. I rather wanted to take it in and film it all for obvious reasons. You can imagine it was a little bit push and shovey, and I didn't fancy dropping my phone, if I'm honest. I'll just be brutally honest there. So what we got here, do you think Steve Holland is the cog behind Carrick's wheels? Yes and no. Steve Holland is... So there is a website, well, there's a channel or /website called Coach's Corner. And there's another one called Coaches. I can't think what it's called, but I've seen some stuff Steve Holland's done with that. Obviously, being a registered coach myself, I've seen videos that he's put out through the FA for us to learn from as coaches. Anyone who signed up to the FA, you can view them. The guy, the way he talks and the way he teaches is so logical. He doesn't overcomplicate it. It's, well, if you take one more step to your left, he's done it. He's not going that way, is he? Now you know where he's going. It's that kind of thing. And it's those tiny little tweaks, I think, that he's making at the moment, about the work effort. So if you're always, take Dalot, pretty much all of us have said, bring Mazraoui in for Dalot. But what I've noticed Dalot's doing at the moment is when it looks like the ball's going to be switched from the left to the right towards his winger, he's already shuffling his feet ready to make the sprint. So he's getting, not quite on a half turn, but he's ready to go. And it's like, he shouldn't need to be told that, but Holland's brought it in. But what he's doing, the whole defence is shuffling at the same time. And that's why he's bringing the wingers in. And then obviously Carrick, he was a mastermind in midfield. He knows how to make the midfield tick. I think there's not one person here who's not going to agree with that. He really did make our midfield tick. So I think Holland is doing a lot. I don't think he's doing the attackive play though, which is quite worrying because if you think we got Johnny Evans, Woodgate, Carrick, and Holland, and that's pretty much the midfield and defence. And if you can make that solid, maybe he has turned out and said, right, you wingers, I want you up and down the line. That's all I want. You stay wide. Then Bruno got the options to find. He can either go wide to one of you or he can go forward to the striker. And it seems to be working. But that's my take on Holland at the moment. Do bear in mind, it's only 3 matches. It's like what? This match will be coming up to a month of them in charge after this. So there's still a lot to be seen because we haven't really been tested that much. But is that because we've been taking control of the game? Or have we come up against teams that aren't really firing? Who would you pick as starting lineup for Tottenham? So Tanish, you can either scroll back to the beginning of the show. We've done the Tottenham lineup and the United lineup, but if I can get it up quick enough, I will. Let's have a look. Let's do that. Right, I'll bring it back up just for you. So this is my suspected starting lineup. I went with Sesko up top. I think Sesko in for Cunha, pushing Bumo out where Cunha was leaving it very vacant on Sunday. And then the rest of the team stays exactly the same. I think Carrick's of the mould where you don't change your winning lineup. Unless you see a tactical tweak, and I feel our structure is going to be very important against the Thomas Frank team. And Bumo has to be on the pitch because he's going to understand Thomas Frank's football more than anything. If worst case scenario, he's going to maybe potentially even pick up on triggers and that, and let Carrick know, oh, he's doing this. This is something we used to practice back at Brentford. So it'll be important. He's on the pitch, but I just feel Sesko's important to start. So. Yeah, I'll leave that down in the bottom corner. So you can always zoom in on it if you want. What's the next? What else we got here? Did you get good seats at the match? Yeah, I was I want to say it's S22. I'm sure it's S22. Like I said, there are 30-something rows up, pretty much just outside of the 18-yard box on the south stand. Got it here somewhere. I don't think it's on my laptop to be able to chuck it up on the screen. Let's try and see. Yeah, S122. Yeah, I can't get it onto the screen. But yeah, dead in line with the 18-yard box in front of the Stretford end, south side. pretty much for someone like me, perfect place to be. You know, tunnels down to your left, you see all that, and you're watching the warm ups, everything. So, from a coaching point of view, I saw a few little things that I quite liked, and then yeah, great seats. And as much as I would have loved to have been in the end for the Sesco finish, um, saw it coming. Just saw that step over on the far side of the pitch, and I was just like, just pull it back. And that little touch away, and then he turns, spins, puts it in the top corner. I think I almost went from row 30 down to row 10 because I flew out my seat, mate. The guy in front of me, like I say, he was funny enough. He was the size of a house. He was absolutely huge. Bodyguard like that. I almost went over his shoulders and just kept going. I flew out my seat. There's no better experience, like I said, than seeing a last-minute winner at Old Trafford. How far have you gone in your coaching budgets, and do you plan on going further? So that's. Do I plan on going further? I want to go further. So I'm currently at level 2, or what is now. Is it still classed as level 2? So I've done. When I took my badges, it was level 1, level 2. Now they're all changing them to. I think level 1's now called like Introduction to Football. Level 2 is something else, and then you've got UEFA C, B, A pro license. I want to get onto my C, but it's a 20-week course. It's not on all year round, so you have to work it around your work and everything else. When you're with a club, it's meant to be easier, but it depends on the size of the club and whether that FA, so mine's Sussex FA, want to do it. They like to do it at Sussex University, and you're back and forth to the university every weekend, which means you're not with your club. So it gets quite awkward. It also gets ridiculously expensive. To get to your pro license in England, it's about 10 grand. And it's going up year on year. To do my pro license, if I went to Germany, it's about 450 quid. So it's just ridiculous, and we get ripped off here. And it's even quicker. You can even do it even quicker in Germany. They'll come to you, and basically they want to help you, where here the FA just want to take the money from you. Personal opinion. But the badges only pretty much, it's like, if you've ever been in that situation where you want a job and they say, have you got any experience? You're like, no, but I really want to learn this job. And they go, oh, we can only employ you if you've got experience. And your answer is, how am I meant to get experience if I don't do the job? It's very much that kind of model for the coaching badges, unfortunately. Let's get rid of this now. All right, I'm going to get rid of the starting lineup because it pushes the questions up. Holland has simplified things for me with Carrick's. Yeah, definitely simplified. He's been asked enough there about that. Funny enough, Danny. I love watching Rooney. I love watching Rooney's BBC podcast, and I love watching Paul Scholes and Nicky Butts, because although people think they're doing it for clickbait, I think that's just who they are. I think they're just honest people. You've got to remember who they've grown up with, and a lot of them are very, very honest. And they're like Roy Keane. When you hear Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes speak, you hear Roy Keane speak. It's sort of feel the same with Wayne Rooney. It's that Scouser sort of thing where it's like, that's what I think. I don't care what you think. You know, my opinion's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So he said about coming in as an attacking coach. I think that'd be amazing. But it didn't really work with Van Nistelrooy, did it? So it would be awkward, I think. But it's about the respect. If the player doesn't respect the player coaching him or know enough about him, in this day and age, not many actually watch football. So that's normally a problem. Oh, good shot. Dutch Steve McClown. Yeah, I heard about that. So what else we got? Trevor here. Last one here from Trev. Went to watch John O'Shea. Doing their coaching badges. as the boys was in the squad. They were training. Also on the licence was Real Madrid legend Miguel Salgado. Yeah, he's doing all right for himself as well, isn't he? Salgado. So yeah, and you do get that. So when you go up, really, so the boys, if you're next pro, you don't do like the first two. They're so below. I don't even think you do the C now. They literally just go straight in for the UEFA licenses because a lot of it's about drawing up session plans, but they're just going to draw up whatever they've done that week, So, um, and it's how do you put things on. So, a lot of the players will always be sent to go help coach down at the younger levels. You hear Michael Carrick in his press conference saying, "Oh yeah, I used to coach Kobe when he was 13." We've heard other people say, "Oh yeah, I've known Rashford since he was in the under eights." They go and do that, so it happens a lot. But as you get further up, oh my God, you can really be chucked in with some absolute superstars, and it's got to be a little bit hard if you get starstruck easily to have some of these pro footballers that could turn up on your course. It's going to be interesting to see his son Kai Rooney in the future for us as a regular starter. Being a striker too, it's more firepower. He has a lot of weight on his shoulders. Yes, I spoke about this the other week. Coming on at Old Trafford and having all the fans like literally singing Rooney, Rooney as he's walking on the pitch. It was only ever going to go one of two ways, and thank God for us, it went the right way. It was either going to be too much, and he was going to shrink on the pitch, but he didn't. He grew. He'd done his job, and he got us into the next round of the FA Cup. And I think it helps that he's in the team with JJ because all the media hype is around JJ and not Rooney, and they're the same age. So I think that helps a lot. Tanish, I don't know if you watch much of the under 18s or the 21s. You have to let me know what you think of him so far. But we've talked about him regularly, and he is very similar to his dad in his style of play. He's a bulldozer. He'll shoot from anywhere. But he's got a long way. Technically, he's got 1 year before his dad made his appearance, so he's nowhere near his dad's level because he's not one of the ones being brought up to the first team. So I would like people to just remember that. But that's the way it should be, Trevor. That's the way it should be. 10-mile run. I went down to pick up my dad, and his mates are going to ask him, did he want to join him for a run? Why not? It's about fitness, and I think that's one of the things that's gone. I disagree a lot with sports science. I love it, and it's definitely a love-hate relationship because I know everything it can do for you, but this whole, he's redlining, he's got to stop. Don't tell me I need to stop. I know when my body needs to stop. If I don't push myself, I'm never going to get stronger. I'm never going to run further. I'm never going to get better. It's about knowing how far you can go without going too far. Someone else can't tell me that, and it happens a lot now with these. But if you look back at someone like Salgado, then that's the way he was brought up. There was no sports science then. I've done my training. No, I still feel I haven't given enough. I'm going for a run, and that's nothing better than that. Kai is just back from injury recently. Yeah, he is, but I don't think it was that major. Well, or his dad at least played it down. So, sports science is like XG. Yeah, XG, the biggest load of bullshit you can ever. Oh, he scored a goal, but it was only worth 0.2. No, it's worth 1. It went in the net. One shot, one goal is 1 XG. Don't rate whether or not I should have scored it. You can't tell me what I should and shouldn't be able to do. I fucking hate XG. I hate it in all aspects. Expected goals versus, goals against, goals for, because anything can happen, right? That's why we love football. What was the expected XG for Salgado? Not Salgado, it's because you put him up there. Tottenham's goal last week, the scorpion kick, Solanke's goal. What was that? 0.01, because it's a 1 in a million kind of finish. It's horrible. See, Trevor, this is why we get on, mate. This is why we get on. We've got the same kind of passion and hates. Football is a simple game. Let them run round until they die on the pitch, kicking the ball and trying their best. That's all it ever used to be, right? Take away the social media, take away the stats, take away all of that, and just be a force to be reckoned with. You asked me about Duncan Edwards. Can you imagine Duncan Edwards in this day and age? Can you imagine him being told, sorry, Duncan, you got to come off, mate, you're redlining? He'd probably headbutt the person telling him to come off and run back off up front. You know, so it's the world we live in now, though, and we have to stick with it. Right, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we need to go over. Yeah, Trevor, you are right. It's a simple game, but I hate that saying, pass and move, because it just reminds me of the Liverpool FA Cup song. So give and go. That's the running. Just give it and go. But yeah, I try and stay away from pass and move. It's the Liverpool groove, wasn't it? So yeah, guys, is there anything else you want from me tonight? Otherwise, apart from that, I think all I can ask is I'll just give you 30 seconds to fire in another question. And the white suits. Hey, don't knock the white suits. It worked for John Travolta, right? It just didn't work for them, right? We all love a bit of Saturday night. So, too much. I think on that note, I'm going to have to call it a night, and that's probably actually just hurt my arm. That's what you get. You get 4 little pokes, and my arm's gone. I will be back after the game tomorrow. It's 12:30 kickoff. I will probably try and do a review show around 5 o'clock. But I will put it out on the community page. So it's important, guys, if you've watched this far, that you check the community page. I will say what time I'm going live on there. But really, after this, please get in the comments, leave a comment. Even if you think I've made a fool of myself tonight, just leave a comment. It helps me out. Hit the thumbs up. Share if you want to share. Please share over the socials. I try and do it as much as I can. Still learning that side of things. It's not that I don't know how to do it. It's just training my brain to actually remember it. Now, Tanis, if you're at the game tomorrow, great. Pop, afterwards. After the game, after I've done a preview, if there's anything you've seen, pop on YouTube, come back, find the video, and either watch it through or just leave a comment. Just sort of say, I was at the game today, and do you know what, Mark, you were right. Cunha started and he wouldn't stick to the left, or Mbeumo did start and he done a job. Tell me anything you think that I haven't covered. It's only going to help me get better and give you guys better information. So. I can't even sling it, Trevor. Trevor, I can't sling my arm because it raises the shoulder up. So I can't even do that. So I will sling my hook. Okay. So yes, before we go, obviously I should have done this. I've just put my head. Final scores. What are we going for tomorrow? I'm going big, guys. I'm going big. I'm going 4-1 Man United. I'm going Mbeumo hat-trick with a Bruno Fernandes penalty. So, three from Mbeumo, 1 from Bruno from the spot, 4-1. Don't care who scores Tottenham. Don't give a shit. I just can't. I still struggle for us to have a clean sheet. Trevor's gone 3-1. Tanish has gone 2-0. Come on, there's 2 more of you at least watching. I know you're listening. Just jump on quickly, whack in the score. If not, whack it on afterwards. I'm going to pin a little comment afterwards in the video. Have a little response to that. And otherwise, yeah, I think it's all the medication I've been on, Trevor. Maybe I've been seeing funny things. But no, I just got this feeling in Mbeumo hat-trick. Oh, boxing's in late. Boxing, it's the end of the stream. I'm just literally wrapping it up. You can chuck me your score, your predicted score. I've gone 4-1 and Bumo hat-trick with a Bruno penalty. Trevor thinks I've got a crystal ball because I'm calling it out. We've got a 2-0 and we've got a 3-1. What are you going for? Oh, Bilal's gone 2-1. It's worrying, isn't it, for all of us think we're still going to concede. We're just not tight enough at the back. Maybe that's something we should talk about in the next show or afterwards. If we get back-to-back clean sheets, then we'll definitely have a conversation about it because that is the Steve Holland effect. 2-1. So I'm going to shoot now, guys. Like I say, I'll be back afterwards. I'm looking about 5-6 o'clock. But get in the community tab and you'll see when I put it up on there. Boxing, if you want to rewind to the beginning, I think there's the very first sort of 1 minute of the show you'll probably totally appreciate. There's a little tribute done by myself to the memory of the Munich Air Disaster today. So if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, please rewind, have a look, tell me what you think. Like I say, come back in the comments. But for now, guys, catch me up on one of my other videos or shoot over to TikTok and I'll let you all know later tomorrow. Like I say, probably halfway through the game, I'll let you know what time I'm going live. And I'll see you there. All right? So from me, take care, guys.